What's going on, my vet bros and vet broads out there, all part of the vet bro militia community? I hope we're all doing well today on this beautiful Thursday. It is 1:53 p.m. on the 11th of January 2024. So today I had a different type of reaction I was gonna do. I had a couple of videos that people have been sending me, but as I was scrolling through the old tubes of you, something popped up and caught my attention. um, I was just laying in bed, man, and just swooping through, listening. There's a couple of channels I watch out there. Dubs is one, Free World Robert, and Gunners Collective popped up. Gunners Collective TV. You guys go check them out. And what he was talking about, kind of like, or what he was going to react to, it kind of like popped at me. So today it's going to be Homies in the Military documentary reaction, the Andres Raya case. All right. So if I'm not mistaken, this is the one where Homeboy was a jarhead and then he started blasting at the cops. And they made a big deal out of it, saying that it was because it was gang related or whatnot, or they brought his past into it. So with that said, in my 10 years in the military, I retired at 10 years due to, well, I was medically retired at 10 years. And I have a little bit of knowledge on this. I can't remember running into a shit ton of gang members, honestly. And let me say this, let me bring this back a little bit. Real gang members. And when I let me just stick to the essays, all right, to the Hispanic Latino side. Because I know I met maybe two from Cali and another two or three maybe from here in Texas. Texas is just different when it comes to gangs because I mean they have Crips and Bloods that are Mexican, and that still blows my mind out here. So, anywho, with that being said, I come from a background in it, so I wanted to see what he's talking about on this. I don't know much about the whole case. I just remember Homeboy was just spraying with an SKS. That's about it. Um, but I want to say something. I think the reason it popped out to me was because I just finished the book, Ese tu Master Jefe, by, I believe his name is Raul Ramos. Go check that book out, man. It's really good. He talks about, growing up in South Central, being in the hood, gang banging, doing his thing, and then just getting fed up with it and decided to make a positive change for his life. And homie went from E1 to E9. You know what I'm saying? And that's an outstanding thing to do. That's not an easy task, no matter what branch of the military you're in. To get E9 is a big deal. So props to SA to Master Jefe. Um, so with that being said, let's go ahead and check this out. Hey, if you haven't done so yet, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button. At the end, if you dug what I had to say or the reaction or whatever you saw, hit me with a thumbs up. If you didn't, hit me with a thumbs down. But at the end of the day, I want you to go ahead and leave a comment letting me know what I could do better or what I did wrong. You know what I'm saying? Again, this is just my point of view. I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm not speaking for anyone but myself. All right. All right. And for those that don't know, I was born and raised in South Central Los Angeles. I do have a gang banging background. I don't publicize it because that's just not who I am. But that's why I said I have a little bit of experience on both sides. All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and check this one out with Gunners Collective. And here, oh, I got to present, don't I? Yeah, I got to give me a second, man. There's a reason I was a 13 Bravo. Not the sharpest tool in the shed. I'm just self-deprecating. So audio shared. All right, cool. Here we go. All right, so Gunners Collective. Here we go.
Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV.
What's up, dog?
Back at it, you already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. What? Ba-da.
Oh,
Habits buy up, buy up, buy up.
you lucky I can't fast forward you.
I'm feeling myself today. In a menudo sound direct fashion, man. it's time to get into the content of the day.
All right.
If you didn't tap into the one that I dropped earlier, the baby Brianna story, I totally understand, man. That was a hard one to do, and I'm still trying to get over that.
All
But
right.
I wanted to do another video,
All right. We'll do it. Let's
give
do
you
it.
guys a little something more to grasp onto. And before we do, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on all, so that way you're directed in the
Damn,
direction of the
dog.
dope content
How
I
many shoes
create.
you got back
And I
there?
highly appreciate every bit of support I'm getting. The channel's going up, man. We're
Chingue su
definitely making it
madre.
happen. So, gangs in the military,
Let's
right?
do it.
Gang members. I did a video a while back talking about this particular situation, but I found a video that I wanted
All right. I'm gonna have to look for that video because I want to see what he has to say.
to react to that actually goes more in depth and speaks on what's happening in our military. It's been happening, right? There's a lot of authors from a lot of different places that go into the military for one reason or another, man, and can't let go of the hood. You can get the fuck up out the hood,
Facts.
but you can't, take the hood out of the gangster. So there was a story. I've done videos on it. A lot of content creators have done videos on it about Andreas Raya, right, from series.
Real quick. A lot of the gang banging shit or the gangster shit comes out when there's alcohol involved. Specifically when you're getting shit faced and all of a sudden, they got the jams playing in the background. Next thing you know, you're just starting throwing up neighborhoods and all that stuff, just doing your thing. And just saying, that's normally when it kicks off. But I never got into a fight with anybody from a different hood or different. Anyway, continue. But weren't gang banging. Again, it wasn't gang banging. It was more like we said who we were, where we were from, and then we just kept on going with it. You know what I mean? It's not like we were in there active. You know what I mean? We go in there to find a new way of life.
Series is a small little town right next to Modesto.
That's up
Pretty
north.
gangster. I got familia from there from Sermas Park, and they wiggle out there in Series, man. Series is slept on, but it's very gang related.
Wiggle, wiggle,
Real
wiggle,
small,
yeah.
but I
Wiggle,
remember
wiggle,
as a
wiggle, yeah.
kid growing up, going to Series several times, and just seeing how gang related it really was, man. It's ghetto. It's there's a lot going on there.
I don't know.
Only
I've
those
never
that
been
are
there.
from that area, it's right in the heart of the 209, would understand what Central Valle living is really all about.
Word.
So this guy Andres Raya was in the military and came back and got into a situation where he found himself, I believe, with post-traumatic stress.
All right. So before we continue, this video is 24 minutes long. There might be some parts that I skip because if not, it's going to be an hour-long reaction. And as far as PTSD goes, I don't know the whole details of the story. I don't know if homeboy deployed. I don't know the background. So
PTSD, I think, being in the military fucked up his head. And of course, he got right into the mix, man. And his case became national news because, him being, in the military, he came back and got into a scuffle with some officers, man. And an individual lost their lives. So this is going to touch on that story a little bit more in depth, as well as other gangs that are in the military. So, man, bear with me.
Word,
Let's
okay.
react to this shit together.
Let's do it.
Let's see how it's really going on because, we believe our military is there to defend the honor and the integrity of our people and our nation. But there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and gangs definitely have infused themselves into the military for facts. So let's.
I'd like to know what you mean by there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Like as far as what? We are there to defend our country, the Constitution of the United States, against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Yes, there are some knuckleheads that still do dumb shit while we're in there. I'll include myself in that. Again, it was when I was drunk, I was, just started doing dumb shit, but it wasn't like being back on the block. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like we were out there, just going on missions trying to fucking go head hunting and shit. It wasn't like that at all. It wasn't like, oh, you're from up north, you're from down south. It had nothing to do with that either. Because honestly, I met a bunch of dudes, man, and I'm trying to think of it, and I can't even count on one hand how many cholos I ran into out there. Like I said, it was maybe two of them that were like for real about it, and then two from Texas that I know for sure. And again, I'm talking on the Mexican side. I'm not talking about the black side, because on the black side, they have a whole different dress culture, a whole different way of carrying themselves. Um, on the East Coast, I didn't meet gangsters from the East Coast. I didn't meet anybody that was Latin Kings or said that they were. They did it correctly. They kept it to themselves, like the majority of us did. We just, you know, we opened up to those that we saw that moved amongst the same um birds of a feather flock together. How about that? You know what I'm saying? So, and yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Let's go.
To take down. That's because of training we gave them. More and more gangbangers are joining the military. And as Chris Blatchford tells us, when these guys return to the street, and as Chris Blatchford...
Real quick, why do they call them gangbangers? Gang members, individuals involved in gangs. They always use that term gangbanger because I think it makes people sound less than or worse than they truly are. Anyways.
Probably because it just rolls off the
when
tongue.
These guys return to the streets, they're much more dangerous.
This AWOL Marine out of Camp Pendleton, also a gang member, waits with a deadly SKS assault rifle hidden under his serape.
Yeah, so it is
He's
this
on
one.
a twisted, self-ordered mission to kill a police officer. He is 19-year-old Lance Corporal Andres Raya, high on cocaine and hatred for cops. From this liquor store in the small town of Ceres near Modesto, Raya calls in a fake report that shots have been fired. Two officers respond to the scene, taking a tactical position behind a nearby wall. Raya...
Okay, first things first. How is this gang related? I mean, I just want to know how it's gang related automatically. From what it sounds like, this fool was on Yayo, and this fool was on a mission, man. He must have been done dirty. Something must have happened that triggered him to want to start popping caps at the cops. I mean, the fool's not just gonna automatically think, "Hey, I'm gonna go bless some cops today." It doesn't happen that way. Something's got to pop in there to trigger that. And then with the PTSD thing, I'm sure that had something to do with it. What was it that pushed him to that? You know what I'm saying? What? We'll find out. Maybe I need to listen to it more.
Sees them, raises his rifle, and starts firing. Using a military tactic called slicing the pie, he advances around the corner, aggressive.
Yeah, he was definitely military trained, man. And this story gets real deep. There's a lot that went into it, and there was a lot of slander thrown on this kid's name. They made it more about his gang and his old affiliations, his past affiliations, or what he was prior to the military, rather than him actually going into the military and that fucking up his head. The normal person doesn't do this. They don't have a hatred towards law enforcement or a hatred towards authority figures unless something bad happened to them.
Hey, Gunner, not to cut you off, homie. The military didn't fuck up his head. All right. The military doesn't fuck up your head. Your head gets fucked up when you're in war. That will fuck up your head. But the military itself won't do that. Just wanted to correct that real quick.
Usually the guys that do this type of stuff is because they went through some type of vicious situation that changed their ways of thinking. From what I've heard, I've never been in the military. I've had homeboys from the water that have been, and they told me it's a very structured element, but there is a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and some people lose it. I've had a lot of friends that came back and weren't exactly the same.
Finding his target to make the...
See, again, behind the scenes, I want to know like what exactly is going on behind the scenes. I mean, shit, is there like some Illuminati in the military that I don't know about? I mean, and I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm going to get my clown on wherever I can in here. But I don't understand what behind the scenes you're talking about. Like, as far as what? Like, if I could get an example, maybe it'll clear me up. So just throwing that out there.
The kill. 49-year-old officer Sam Rhino goes down, severely injured. Return fire from the second officer drives Raya back, but it's far from over. He spots a third officer coming from another direction. Again, using his military training, he takes the attack right to his target.
That motherfucker knew his TTPs. He definitely knew what he was doing.
39-year-old Sergeant Howard Stevenson, armed only with a handgun, is killed. SWAT Sergeant Craig Plant arrives.
So basically, them guys didn't stand a chance, man, and it was all done on camera. You know, the guy utilized his training. It's upsetting to some because, you know, these law enforcement officers didn't deserve that. You know, they were just responding to a call, trying to help the community. And this guy decided to pop off, right? Definitely. But the reasoning behind it has more so to do with mental instability than it does necessarily with gang banging. I didn't see anything gang related there.
Facts.
You know, maybe because he was wearing a sarape, they mischaracterized him, or because of his past affiliations. You know, I've heard from a lot of people he was a homie, a norteño, and then I've heard from a lot of people that he was just a hang around or someone that associated with Northerners. You know, in series, that's all there is. So I could understand you being an element of your geography and kicking back with friends doesn't necessarily mean you have to participate with the bullshit or the shenanigans, right?
Real quick, exactly what he's saying right there. That shit he's saying right there makes a lot of 100% sense. That I didn't see anything that made this militaristically or tied with gang. I mean, I'm sorry, militaristically and gang. I didn't see anything that tied this shit between gangs and military. You know what I'm saying? What I see is a motherfucker that was high. If he was high on coke, probably because maybe I don't know. I'm guessing maybe sometimes the PTSD will lead you to go into drugs. All right, a lot of veterans, they don't get looked at as suicides because they OD'd on drugs. However, the reason that they're doing those drugs is because of the PTSD they have, the PTSD that they're suffering with. I don't want to say suffering, the PTSD that they're living with. So they use different forms of mind altering, okay, to try to fucking bury that shit deeper. And our demons fuck with us, yo. Our demon, like with me, it was alcohol all the motherfucking time, and that's what I use. But anyways, that's another story for another day. Sorry, I'm ranting. Go ahead, Gunner.
With whatever the case is, man, this guy got caught up for this, and you know, it's unfortunate that a lot of families, you know, had to suffer because of this situation.
Doesn't like what he sees.
This isn't just somebody that's firing wildly and doesn't know the weapon.
Plant joins other cops, setting up a perimeter, looking for Raya. But here in this alley, Raya finds them.
The blade of
Sergeant Joe Camarda
presented as little smaller profile of himself as he moved across the alleyway. He came towards us, which was incredible. I mean, he gained about 30 or 40 yards towards us.
He had training, bro. We get it. He had military training.
In a safe
what does that have to do with gangs?
Home. Investigators find photos of Raya flashing norteño gang signs, a video of him and his homies, graffiti, and a book that celebrates the gang lifestyle. Stanislaus.
Go ahead, and what was the big deal with this case was, okay, not only did officers lose their lives, and anytime that happens, man, they're gonna make it, you know, into a bigger issue, which it is. You know, in society, we understand that. Anytime there's an officer involved shooting, it's a big deal, right? But at the same time, I think they focused their attention more so on his past gang banging or his gang being a gang member, rather than what was the true motivation behind the shooting, which was PTSD and mental issues. You know, like I said, I've noticed a lot of these guys that go into the military, whether they have fucking gang related issues going on or not. You know, I've seen white guys that were not non-affiliates, black guys that were non-affiliates, black gang members, white gang members, Woods, brother, right? Coffee drinkers, everything under the sun that go in. And
that should be killing me when it yo, guns. Every time you do that shit, it fucking makes me Woods, brother. I just think of Hulk Hogan. Come here, little Hulkster. I'm sorry, bro.
You know, because of their past, you know, they try to smut the individual up and make it into something that's not. With Andres, you know, from everything I've heard, and I've had some conversations with people from that area, you know, in the past, that his story had a lot more depth to it rather than just the gang. You know, you don't judge a person by what they've done in their past. You understand it, you realize it, and you can utilize that for future endeavors, and understand that he's capable of whatever. But I think because he was military trained and because some of the situations he probably seen, that is what led up to him losing it. That with a little bit of drugs and you know, the elements become explosive.
We got an eye on
County
that.
Sheriff's Lieutenant Bill Hine.
So it pretty quickly became evident that we were dealing with a Marine who was a gang member.
He says police are not trained to engage gangsters with military expertise. Meanwhile, there is growing evidence of gang members in the Army, Air Force, Navy, and Marines. And this former Marine, an Asian gang member known as Shady, agreed to talk to us if we did not reveal his true identity.
Well, where else are you gonna learn war tactics? From the war school itself. For free. Hell, you even get paid for it.
While stationed at Camp Pendleton,
And I understand, man, you guys, I say you guys, I'm part of society too, right? I pay taxes. We all assume that, this military training that we're giving these young kids that are not yet have the capabilities of understanding and grasping the true nature of what it is to have, to defend our country. They only know about defending barrios and defending hoods, or some people don't understand at all because they're not part of that life. They come from middle America and they've never been exposed to the ghetto, the barrios, or that element. But they're all treated the same. They all get this expertise training, and the military assumes they're going to utilize that, in a good way. Which killing other people is never a good way. It doesn't matter. War is not great. It's nothing good about it, right? It should be the last thing that you have to do. But when you train these guys, I could see where it makes it difficult to fight against them if they choose to do something like this. Now, there are a lot of gang members in the military. There's been a lot of gang members in the military.
Yep.
There was a point in time where they were sending people from courts. They were giving you an option whether to go back in the hood, go to prison, or go to the military. A lot of these guys were choosing option 3, the door number 3, because it meant freedom.
We actually have a cadence. It says, go to war, go to jail. Got a letter in the mail. Go to war, go to jail. And it won't be long till I get on back home.
It meant maybe getting some structure in your life and changing your life around. So a lot of these guys from all different areas were being placed, in these different facilities, these different prison camps, these training grounds. Not only were they being trained, where they were learning structure and learning what it is, but like I said, you can't take the gangster away from the gang. These guys still had true beliefs in their causes, what they were. And there were times, my friend told me, that was in the military, where they had riots and they came together. In some cases, there was unity between North and South, and Bulldogs and Crips and Bloods, and people that you necessarily would fight on the streets. There's different rules and regulations in there. There's also victim of circumstances. Just say one norteño goes into a platoon where there's 25 sureños, man, they're going to feel some type of way. He's going to feel some type of way, and it could get ugly. The military is supposed to bring a brotherhood together.
All right. I don't know where homie was in the military where they had riots kick off like that. Never have I ever heard of this. And I'm not saying that your homie is lying. I'm just saying that I find it hard to believe. You know what I'm saying? Never have I ever heard it. And as far as like if you have a whole platoon full of fucking Southsider, homie, what unit were you in, dog? I mean, I need to know these kind of facts, because my battery had over 100 people. Then you have a whole battalion, then you have a whole brigade, and bruh, some people will talk that they're about it, but some people ain't about it. You know what I'm saying? So again, I moved around a lot in the Army. I started in Fort Hood. I went to Fort Hood. I went to Korea. In Korea, I met one or two. That's right. There were one or two gangsters there. Not everybody was a gangster though, man. And again, like I don't want to say everybody, a lot of people portrayed an image or try to portray this image of being like a badass on the streets, because the whole thing about the military, you get to create your whole new identity. You know what I mean? But eventually, if you're fucking full of shit, people find out, bro. And again, we could cut through the fucking weeds. And I'm just saying, ain't nobody feeling no type of way, you know. And maybe in boot camp, I'll give you boot camp. Maybe in boot camp, somebody will feel some type of way, and you know, because you still got that civilian mentality. All right, but once you're in the military, once you're in in the real Army, the real Navy, the real Air Force, the real whatever Marine Corps, will you have your onesies and twosies that are still with that mentality? Probably, but you're not gonna have a whole fucking collective. All right, just saying that's all I'm saying.
Together. You know, they're supposed to be like brothers, and some do. Some play it the right way and they play by the rules. But then there's those that are so infused in their ways of thinking as far as gang related, they ain't trying to hear that shit, man.
And police say
I'll say this: if they are that infused in the military, they ain't gonna last in the military. 100% guarantee they won't make it past their first contract. That's the type of motherfucker that ends up getting Article 15 after Article 15 after Article 15. That's non-judicial punishment. That's pretty much eventually you're gonna get kicked out for patterns of misconduct. All right. So I mean, if you're that badass and doing that shit that hardcore in the military, you will get caught up and you will be out in a heartbeat. Motherfuckers know what's going on in there. Motherfuckers in the barracks know what's going on in there. Motherfuckers will regulate their own motherfuckers within the barracks. So, like you were just saying right now, Gunners, we become a fucking brotherhood, all right? Especially, well, you know what? This was an army during a time of war. So I joined the army during time of war. So I don't know what it's like in garrison life, which is, you know, without war. I don't know how boring life is if they have to fucking continue gang banging or find shit to entertain themselves with. I didn't have to do all that. But what I'm saying is we become one big ass fucking family. All right. Because even the dudes that I met here, that I met while I was in the military that were from Texas, you know, that were gangbangers, they were Crips, and the one was a Crip, one was a Blood, you know, and they were Mexicans though, and I hung out with them. It was a trip because they talked essay, but black. It was just weird. They were acted black. Y'all know what I mean by acting black. Don't act fucking like you're surprised. But and then some homies from Cali. Nobody that I knew from Cali. I can't really think of anybody that gangbanged. You know, if y'all know me from back then and y'all gangbanged and didn't tell me, let me know. Anywho, because it'd be a surprise to all of us.
Shady, with a King Cobra Boys tattoo on his leg, instructed his homeboys back in Orange County how to set up a military-style ambush.
Not even being infantry, I learned weapon usage, line of fire, movement. That was taught to every Marine.
And here in the parking lot during a dance at Fountain Valley High School, police say this 15-year-old gang member known as J-Bone shot up this van and a rival gangster's car, Shady telling the others how to position themselves for tactical advantage. A bunch of King Cobra boys went to jail. Shady, who spent 4 years in prison for his part in it, believes other gangsters are now joining the military just to learn about weapons and tactics.
Yeah.
I doubt that, man.
Oh damn! You're saying the opposite of what I was gonna say, Gunner. You know what? Let me go ahead and let you talk first. This is your reaction.
A lot of these guys are not joining the military um, to learn how to shoot, right? A lot of them learn that from the streets. That's easily accessible information on the streets. There's a lot of people that have already been in and out of the army, in and out of the Marines that are more than willing to assist, you know, their camaradas, their homeboys in war tactics. I mean, there's books, there's literature, there's a lot of things that you could do to learn the art of war. You know, war isn't necessarily
Mm-hmm.
shooting guns and ambushing people. It's more so a mental thing. It's a chess game. And anyone who understands that, who's done time in prison, understands that war is not won on the battlefield. War is won within your mind. You know, if you can scheme, plot, and plan, and come up with the right fucking game plan, then you can bypass war and you can manipulate the other group into thinking that you are something and that they don't want to go against. You know, apply pressure with the mental is always going to be better than having to go hand to hand combat because anyone can get it at any given day. You know, I highly doubt that people are joining the military just to learn how to be a killer. You know, that's something they're giving away freely. You know, so what do they expect? You notice a lot of things don't seem to be a problem until they become a problem to certain individuals. I've noticed that whether it be drugs, gangs, any type of violence, anything like that, it's not a problem until it affects those they don't want it to affect. As long as it's going on in the hood and the body, it's all good. But just like the Andres Raya case, as soon as it affected officers, what was going on with him, now it became a problem. What they have to do is utilize their program and make themselves aware of situations and do some more tests, see where these guys are heads at. Don't just fucking put them through trauma, put them through all kinds of devastation and all kinds of bullshit, and then just send them out back to society and expect them to be nice guys. A lot of them.
That's the realest shit you said right there. That is the realest shit you said right there, Gunner. I'll put myself as an example. I did 3 deployments. One to Baghdad in 06, Mosul in 2009, Afghanistan 2012. Each time when we got back from those deployments, we have to do an assessment. Did this happen? Did that happen? Did this happen? Did that happen? Whatever. It's a lot of clicking on the fucking computer key and mouse and keyboard. And 9 times out of 10, we just want to get the fuck out of there. We don't want to be dealing with it. So what do? We check the block. We're good. Because if not, it's on your Med Pros, I think it was called. It was like your redeployment assessment. I forget what the hell it was called. But it has like a red light and a green light and an amber light. And the thing is, if you get red flag for something, then next thing you know, you got to go see counseling for this and counseling for that. But the thing, not even counseling, it just delays you going on leave. And we want to go on leave, all right? So basically, it's check the block, get the fuck out. And this was when I was still in. Now, as I was transitioning out of the military, again, there was a big stigma on people that had any kind of mental issue, PTSD issues. And I think it's still there to this date. And if not, I mean, cool. But I know that a lot of us, we came up during the suck it up and drive on era where, you couldn't admit that you had any kind of issues. And it took me a while to even accept it when they gave me that damn diagnosis. But shit, I forgot where I was going with this. Well, oh yeah. When we come back to the civilian sector, not everybody, everybody that deployed and went to war came back a different person. 100%. When we come back, not all of us are able to acclimate to society again. It's kind of like kind of think about it like this. Like if you're it's a hot ass fucking day outside, right? And then you jump into a freezing ice water pool or something. You're gonna like freeze to death like really quick. You know what I'm saying? The body doesn't have enough time to acclimate to temperature to balance out. That's basically what happens to us. We're coming from one environment that is all fucking hostile, where everybody on the fucking street potentially wants to kill you. And then you got to stay with that mentality the whole fucking time. And then you come back to the States and you're expected to automatically go, all right, that's over. Flip the switch back down. You're back to normal. It doesn't work that way. We got thrown into the motherfucking ice water and expected to acclimate to cold water like it's cool. But there's like the fucking chorizo, it goes, it tucks in, man. That's what happens to us. We tuck behind and are like, fuck. Anywho, anyway, but that's the most real shit you said right there. We don't get trained to be civilians again because there's no unseen or undoing what's been done or seen.
Have passed.
As Marines, why they join the Marines? To shoot guns, blow things up.
Mm-hmm.
And now you've got gang members doing that.
Yeah.
Look, man, I joined the military because I wanted to blow shit up. Fucking facts. I knew we were at war. I wanted to go to war. Fucking facts. I joined the field artillery because I wanted to blow shit up bad. All right. Facts. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to touch on. He was saying about just gang members being the ones that come out and doing shit. Can we go back in 63 when there happened to be a fucking Marine? Even though this is the story they tell, there was a Marine that kind of pulled off 3 rounds on a president. Just saying.
And there's no doubt in your mind that they.
And I don't see the difference with a gang member learning how to blow shit up rather than just a regular guy learning how to blow shit up. It's
My
still
bad, bro.
blowing shit up, right?
Facts. And it's fun.
And taking that back to the street.
There's a good percentage.
And not only are the gang members learning weapon skills and tactics in the military, with the war in Iraq, they are also getting full combat experience in urban-style warfare. T.J. Layton, a former neo-Nazi skinhead who was in the Marines, says it's scary.
Now you got a guy who's fully trained in the military, who's been through combat, who knows what murder and killing is like.
And gangsters in the military don't seem to feel any need to hide their affiliation. This dance floor is full of gang members flipping gang signs to the beat of gangster rap. It's an Army NCO club on base at Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
All right, check this out, y'all. Check this out. Not every sign that's being thrown up is a gang sign. All right. And not everybody that's doing it is a gangster. Okay. It's not. It's fucking not. If you go to Korea, all right, you go to Korea. When I was out there, I was stationed in Camp Hovey. We have TDC out the front day, Tongdushan, or Dongdushan as they call it now. Anyways, every weekend, man, they play music that hypes up the club. You know, the brothers like a specific type of music that get you all crunked up. Well, this is back in 07, 07, 08. And everybody was throwing up W's, everybody was throwing up that ATL. I'm telling you, everybody's a gangster for some reason or another. And like I said, with the brothers, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I know I throw up a W all day long because I represent the West Coast. That's where I'm from. I'm from LA, born and raised. So when I hear like California love, I'm like, hell yeah, baby, throwing up that W. Doesn't mean I'm throwing up a gang sign. You know what I mean? Just putting your hands up in the air. It's not everybody's a fucking gang member, all right? That's all I'm saying.
That's just the world we live in now, where gangs are mainstream, whereas in the past they were very clandestine and not really spoken about. In the 80s, the movie Colors, Boys in the Hood, Men in Society, these movies started to come out, and a lot of these young kids, or even, that was my era, we seen this. This is what we were, our eyes were open to, and everybody thought it was cool. They thought it was the way to go. So there was great influx, especially in California, of gang membership. Everyone wanted to be from a hood, a Vadu, get jumped in. And then people started to get a little bit older and realize they had to do something with their lives. So a lot of guys, went into the military, volunteered to go, not because they wanted to learn how to kill people and everything. A lot of them were already doing that.
Facts.
They learned that shit from Hollywood, right? P. Diddy told them how to do that. He taught motherfuckers how to do a lot of other things too, but that's on them. And in the meantime, in between time, just because you go to the military doesn't mean you forget who you are and they stop gangbanging. If anything, you're around now, you get exposed to a lot of individuals from different states, and learn about their gangs, and you get more in depth and more educated into the other ways of bodies and how they wiggle. It's
When this fool says wiggle, I keep thinking about wiggle, 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 no wiggle, 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 go hold still. Anyways, if you have kids, you understand that. Well, what he's talking about right there, as far again in the military, the cast that I met that were gangsters, we talked about it. Maybe we told some like stories from back in the hood, but we never talked about doing active shit. Like, oh, I'm gonna link up with some other homies from. I never met another homie from my hood while I was in, which is, now that I think about it, kind of out fucking crazy. Um, but yeah, I met plenty of folks that I knew were full of shit when they said they were gangsters. But yeah. Anyways, now if a gang tells another dude, "Hey, you're gonna go join the military, you're gonna do 4 years in there, come back out, and you're gonna teach us all the tactics that they taught you," that's just good thinking. I'm just saying that's some good thinking. I mean, if he's gonna teach you how to do some reflexive firing and whatnot, but I mean, damn, are you gonna have the same weapons that they're teaching you with? I mean, are you gonna bring home a fucking 240 Bravo? Are you gonna bring home an M14 or M16, M4? Are you bringing home a 50 cal, a Mark 19? I mean, are you gonna really bring those home? And how many are you bringing that all these fools are gonna know how to use it? You know what I'm saying? Anyways, continue.
it's a melting pot of all people.
That's an example of a situation out of control, and that's frightening.
Detective Hunter Glass, an Army
And
veteran
motherfuckers
who
represent their
works the gang
cities more than
field in
anything.
nearby Fayetteville
That's what I wanted to
Police
say.
Department is concerned.
It's very popular to be a gangbanger or be a thug. Thug life.
Thug, yes. Gangster is a whole different thing. Thugs and gangsters are different.
Into the military. That's all.
Devin Dozier is a 103rd Street underground crip from South Los Angeles. He's known as Tiny Whack and is in the Army at Fort Lewis, Washington.
It's amazing.
Investigators found more than 40 items of gang paraphernalia in his room on base. Scott Barfield is a Defense Department gang detective.
Oh, definitely. You know, it's one of
I don't know if he's a crip because that definitely said Sewell.
Me and you had an eye on it. They post the shit together, bro.
It's all good when they're on the killing fields, killing people of other countries, huh? It's all good then. Utilize those skills, right?
Oh, fuck. What happened? Hold up. Something done happened here. I don't know where I fucked up. But anyway, no, I agree with what you were saying right there, Gunner. Fuck, what happened to my shit? I don't know what I just did, man. See, Gunner, you got that shit threw me all off because he's a crip and it says sued. I think they must have just posted fucking pictures together, make a little montage. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what they're doing on those motherfucking pictures. But again, what these fools do on their outside time, nobody knows. But 99.9% of them, I never
Only
remember.
with a handgun is killed.
God damn it.
SWAT sergeant.
God damn it, Gunner. You know what? This shit's already been going on for too long. What else do we got here?
So basically, them guys didn't stand a chance, man, and it was all done on camera.
God damn, we already heard that part. I don't know why my intraweb is acting up. But I think I'm gonna end it right here, y'all. All right, so that's it right there. I'm just gonna say this. Are there gangsters in the military? There's former gangsters or those that have a past in gang banging or being a gangster. Yes, there are. I would say that the vast majority are there to change their lives because they've been given a new opportunity to move ahead in their lives. And this is a Fox 11 report. So one thing I will say about Fox 11, I remember back in the day when they did the fucking tag banging reports, bro. I remember they had the DPs, ditching parties, for those that don't know. They did all those reports. So they were all up into this mix like this. They're all about that shit. So goddamn guy. So anyways, I guess that's pretty much as far as we're gonna go with this one. Oh wait. What do we got here? Here we go. What's this?
Vietnam vet calls it dangerous.
And now
everywhere. That is it.
Many have been shipped out to fight in Iraq.
You know, if a lot more programs were provided to hurt other people, but you also educate them.
several years.
I appreciate y'all bearing with
gun
me.
in their hand.
The scariest things that we've seen.
Also on Barfield's list, there's Felipe Tellez, a Florencia 13 gangster from Huntington Park, known as Dreamer Boy. Kevin
Down to see
Nicholson,
down to see where I grew up.
disciple from Georgia. James Adrianson, a Norteño from Springfield, California.
Just here at Fort Lewis, investigators during the past several years have identified more than 300 gang members in as many as 43 different gangs.
And that's just the way it's going to be.
Are they
There's nothing
active?
you can do to stop it. Educate these kids while they're in there. You know, you're not only supposed to teach them military tactics and how to hurt other people, but you also educate them, give them education, college. And I know they do provide a lot of this, and a lot of people will take advantage of the situation or not participate, but encourage them, discourage them from violence and encourage them into silence and to education. You know, if a lot more programs were provided, and if you already, instead of identifying the gang members and digging through their personal property and figuring out who they are, once you're aware of who they are, rather than abuse your authority and make them suffer because of their past affiliations, help them.
100% with what you're saying right there, Gun.
And like
he just said, man, honestly, if I would have found out that any of my soldiers had a background that was comparable to mine, I would have took him under my wing. You know what I'm saying? If he was still doing this dumb shit, then we would have a conversation. You know, there would be a discussion, but I wouldn't put him on blast like that. You know, that's fucked up. I'll tell you, you know, maybe these cats have those pictures to remind them of a way of life that they no longer want to be a part of. You know what I mean? What's keeping them in the military? That's probably their motivation, is not to end up on those streets, because they know that the only place they're going to end up after that is either 6 feet deep or inside the motherfucking behind the walls. You know what I mean? So 100% what you're saying on that one, G.
Maximino Lucky Valdez, an East Side Longo gangster from Long Beach. Many have been shipped out to fight in Iraq, where signs of gang graffiti, say investigators, are becoming more and more prevalent. Retired LA County Sheriff.
No, they did it. Them
Yeah.
sureños are too much. Them vatos hit up the fucking the tanque. That fool put East Side LA on the tank.
All right, let me just break this down. That is not a U.S. military vehicle. That would not happen on any U.S. military vehicle. That's tagging on, you know, on enemy vehicles.
He's representing East Los out there in Baghdad. Bombs over Baghdad.
And honestly, I don't see that as a gang related. I see East Side, LA, 323, the area code, and maybe his name, which is what does it say? Menace?
Yeah, that's it. The vatos are everywhere, huh? I done seen it all. Hey, that's how you know Sureños stay winning, right? The vatos are in Iraq, Iran, fucking everywhere. Them vatos.
Yo, guns. You want to see some real crazy shit? Go check out those 2 Syrian brothers that are out there. There's like some Syrians out there fighting against Al Qaeda. Those motherfuckers were rolling hard, yo.
Are everywhere. The vatos are representing them motherfuckers out there like Allah. And these vatos.
Nah, fool, motherfuckers be like, Allah, a la madre, way, let's roll. That's what they be saying.
Hey, they're down for their hood.
Gang expert Richard Valdemar, a Vietnam vet, calls it dangerous.
And now they maintain their allegiance to the gang even when they joined.
Wars for their country than they are on them streets. Opposed to horrific things. And maybe these gang parties and these concerts or wherever they're going to on base or wherever are getting their mind off of the horrors they're seeing. Believe me, they're seeing a lot more in these wars for their country than they are on them streets. Facts.
That's a fact.
You know, so when they're
I can attest to that.
All the bullshit after living the life they lived, one can only expect drama. So I'll say this: as far as gangs in the military, they're going to be there. They're always going to be there. Like I said, it's all good in the hood when they're assisting, you know, who they're supposed to assist, for whatever reasons it may be. At the end of the day, war is never a good thing. Violence is never a great thing, right? But it's sometimes it's the only thing, and it just
It's a necessary evil.
So, anyways, you know, as far as all these different gang members that should be in the military, I mean, come on, vatos, fucking spray painting, you know, they're doing too much. But I got so many different stories for you that my friend has told me, man, that I'll elaborate on in other content.
I hope so.
Videos. But they're really out there doing that. That's facts. Anyways, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You know, look into some of these cases, man. You know, especially the Andres Raya case out of series. That got very deep. They didn't really elaborate or touch on it too much.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Deeper than what was just.
I have to check that out because honestly, it didn't. All they did was try to pin it on a gang related past. But you know what? If you notice, the Judas are always doing that. Think about it. When George Floyd when he died, you know, I'm not saying that he was an innocent man, but that they really have to go dig into his background, into his past. You know, leave the story where it's at. You know what I'm saying? But on this one, I wish they would have gone in deeper to find out what the mental status was of him. Because look, man, like I said, I've had a couple of friends OD. All right, because they get back, they're fucked up, they can't get the help that they need, and then when they do, all they do is prescribe fucking drugs. Motherfuckers are tired of goddamn pills. Next thing you know, they go to something a little stronger. Some will go to those you know, fentanyl stuff, and others will go into booze, and others will go to coke, you know, and next thing you know, either they OD or they end up doing something that's gonna get them locked the fuck up. So, anyways, with that said, I appreciate you over here, Gunners Collective. I hope you ain't mad that I borrowed your shit. Shout out to Gunners Collective. It's been 49 minutes. Whoever sees this, I appreciate y'all. If y'all stuck with me through all the whole time. If you guys want to go ahead and support the channel, go to onthegunline.com. You can click on the On the Gunline support store. They have merch there, like shirts. Because I don't want to ask for money, but if you do want to go ahead and bless this channel, as people be saying, go ahead and go to the Cash App. The Cash App is the money sign, and then D as in Delta, E as in Echo, E as in Echo, L as in Lima, O as in Oscar, W as in Whiskey, 1977. That's D-Lo 1977 with the money sign in front. Or you could go to the PayPal, which is onthegunline@gmail.com. Anyways, with that being said, I appreciate y'all being here with me for this past damn near hour. I'm going back to sleep because I got my balls cut this morning. I don't even know if I mentioned that in the beginning of this. That's how this whole thing started, because I was resting and flipping through freaking videos. So with that being said, Gunners Collective, I appreciate you letting me react to this. And wait a minute, didn't it start off as homies in the gangs? And now it's how the hell did that change? All right, anyways, with that said, y'all have a good one. Rounds complete. Oh, that's not the wrong one. Make sure y'all check out the podcast, On the Gunline podcast, man. That's the podcast that I do. This is the Vetbro Reacts. It's a second part of the podcast. And next thing we're going to come up with is On the Gunline podcast presents Word on the Streets. All right, I'm out of here, y'all. Rounds complete and the mission. Gunline out. D-Lo the Vetbro, letting you go. Deuces.